Hello, Caroline. It's so nice to have you on the show today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Elisha, and lovely to meet you.
Beautiful. And thank you so very much for being here. You see, I truly appreciate you. And you see, Caroline, oftentimes I love to thank my guest for two things. And I do this so often to the point where it has become my anthem. So, firstly, I want to say thank you so very much, Caroline, for investing in yourself. You see, you are on this platform right now because you did invest that in yourself. And oftentimes, Caroline, I love to make reference to the amazing mango tree. Say some couple of months back, I was on a particular road, and just by the roadside, Caroline, there was this very tall, unattractive mango tree. And I used the word unattractive because the mango tree's got no mangoes on it, and the leaves were all dry. So I just walked past it and I went my way. But you see, Caroline, just recently I was on that same road. And this time around, a lot's changed about the mango tree. You see, the mango tree caught my attention pretty good from a distance. And immediately I got the urge to move so close to it, of which I did, and it wowed me. Because now the mango tree's got a lot of mangoes on it, beautiful green leaves and healthy branches. And not just mangoes now, Caroline, I'm talking about ripe mangoes. It was such a lovely experience that day. I was so excited. Here is my point. The fact that you dedicated your time, energy, and resources to becoming the amazing Caroline that you are today, that alone has made it impossible for me to skip you. And that's why you got the request from me to be on the show because I was attracted to the fruit of all that you're doing. Your insight, your philosophies, the impact your work is having, and how you're offering your solutions. This stuff's so beautiful. And just before I sent you that request, Caroline, I said to myself, I've got to benefit from this beautiful things Caroline is doing. And not only me now, but even with the audience. And here we had a day with the amazing Caroline. So thank you so very much for doing that to yourself. And secondly, thank you for saying yes to the invite. Because if you had said nope, there was nothing Elisha could do about it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Elisha, for having me. And I set this crazy goal a while ago that I want to try to impact 100,000 lives in the next year
Hmm,
and 1 million in the next 3. So the way to do that, because I can't go travel to all the places I'd love to see, but the
that's
the
right.
easiest way to do that now in 2025 is by being on a podcast and having my own podcast as well. So that way more people can get this message and understand. Yeah.
That's so true. And that's a beautiful goal. I love that. Okay, let's get started. You see, Caroline, I'm quite excited to have you on the show today for some reasons. Firstly, my interest in knowledge seeking. I believe in order for one to transition from a terrible situation to that of a beautiful one, Caroline, I believe it takes the application of knowledge, quality information, and not just knowledge now, but the application of it. And you see, ever since I discovered that light in the Hebrew means knowledge and darkness ignorance, I've been so keen to knowledge seeking. Why? Because I do not want to remain in the dark. So that's going to make our conversation today very important to me and even to the listeners. And the second reason why I'm excited to have the amazing Caroline on the show is for the sake of the audience. You see, we live in an age where information is as abundant as grains of sand. We've got lots of information flying out there. So these folks trust me for quality, eye-opening, and very important information, of which I am totally convinced, Caroline, that our conversation is going to be insightful and impactful. So, for that reason, let's get started with your introduction. Talk to us about your personal or your professional journey, because right now we are so curious. We want to know how Caroline got here. Then, afterwards, I've gotten some beautiful questions for you. Okay, Caroline, over to you.
Awesome. Well, firstly, what I worked on now is trying to help people understand who they are, what they do best, what they love to do. I believe everybody was made on purpose for purpose, only they can do. And the longer
Oh,
that we
yeah.
are, the longer we're settling or hiding parts of ourselves, the more that not only are we missing out, but our families and our communities are missing out from what we were really meant to do and be here. So my story starts as a child. My father was a teacher, a principal, a superintendent in the school system. And I spent my days when I wasn't in school, I was at school wherever he was working. And I loved that knowledge environment. I loved the school. So when I first was thinking what I wanted to do when I grew up, I thought I want to be a teacher. However, in that time frame, my dad already was in that. And he said, girl, you're good in math, you're good in science. You should do something in that realm. Also, I don't know that teaching is going to support the lifestyle you want to be accustomed to, but you're really good at this science. Why don't you try this? So I did. And he also said, and someday you don't have to be an educator to educate. So I am still doing that thing now. But I got an interest into chemistry, and I also liked math. I started college as a chemical engineering student, and I could do it, but I felt like this visceral reaction that I was in my body. I was feeling like sick, like not like this is not it. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe people actually spend their lives calculating pressure drop through a pipe. Like I want what's in the pipe. I switched my major to chemistry. I got a bachelor's degree in chemistry. I then met a wonderful lady who encouraged me to go on and continue my education. I got a PhD in polymer science, so rubber and plastics. And I did things like fatigue and fracture mechanics and studying how things broke in order to make them stronger. And I still do that, but now I do it with people. So I then worked in the industry for a company that made adhesives for metal bonding car parts. And I was doing it, and I was doing it well, and I was getting recognition. And I was also thinking, but, someday when I die and I get to meet God, and God says, and what did you do? I just did not
mm,
like the sound of being able to say, I glued metal car parts together in a part that nobody would ever know. And I was thinking, ugh, I don't know. Now, granted, it was okay, and it wasn't even like a structural component. It was like aesthetic, like the
mm,
part of you shut your
mm,
car door in, and I'm like, nobody cares. So I had this feeling like, I don't know. And I also at that time was having children. I now have two boys. And I was also thinking,
mm.
how am I supposed to help these kids come to know, love, and serve you if I'm spending my whole day making an adhesive for car parts? So I did have this internal kind of, and I was also asking, please, God, help me have a way. I got laid off. And even when I was in the, and I was thinking, don't you know who I am? Don't you know all the awards that I have, all the millions of dollars of products that I made for you? And I'm the one you
Mm,
chose. And I'm looking around at other
mm,
people that didn't get chosen, but and I felt like they weren't that good of workers, so I had this huge hit to my ego. But on the other hand, I had asked God for the ability to be able to help my kids come to know, love, and serve Him. So that was my opportunity. And even when I was in that meeting, I felt this like hug. I felt this, it was like I don't know, my guardian angel, probably my guardian angel, somebody hugging me while I was even getting this news. So I had my head saying, don't you know who I am? And my heart and my soul being like, this is your next step. So I was home with the kids for a few years. And then I went back, and my husband was saying, you should get a job. And I'm like, what the heck? Get a job? I got to drop the kids off. I got to pick them up. I got to take them to school. I'm the room parent, all this stuff. And he said, you have a PhD. You have a PhD. I said, well, I can't this and I can't that because I have to all these things. And he said, look, if anybody ever tells you about a job, don't tell them what you can't do. Tell them what you can do. And
Dude.
and
Mm,
so then I got this call a couple days later from a recruiter for the chemical industry. And they wanted me to go and work farther away from where I am, which would require us to move, to again work with adhesives to bond car parts. And I'm like, no, no. But I was curious, and I said, help me understand, where are you calling from? Come to find out, this recruitment firm that focused on the chemical industry, which I came from, physical location was not even 10 minutes from my house. And so I said,
Wow.
hey, if you ever need another recruiter, let me know. That's then
Mm.
started. I worked there for almost 8.5 years, helping hiring managers and candidates find good matches so that, and even then, it wasn't just a person and their job, but it was their entire families that were affected by that income. But I kept seeing successful people, outwardly successful and inwardly conflicted. And they were thinking, if only they changed the job, everything would be better. And often they changed the job, but it was the same problem on different faces. And so even myself, I was chasing success. I was getting these awards of global pace setter, top 2%, blah, 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 getting to go on amazing trips. But even the trips, they were at times where my children were in school, so I couldn't take them. And then I'm again conflicted. How is it I'm winning this award and I'm not even getting to enjoy with my family? And I was so focused on achieving these goals that weren't even my goals that I set, that my family was getting the worst of me. I was yelling at my children. I was yelling at my husband. I developed a class 2 obesity. I had high blood pressure. I developed an irregular heart rate. It's called supraventricular tachycardia. So I would just be sitting and my heart rate would go to like 210, 220, nothing. I had to have a cardiac ablation.
Wow.
And around our 20th anniversary, my husband says to me, look, I'm scared we won't have another anniversary. I don't care what you do, but this isn't it. Figure out what you want to do. I'm scared. Like, what is it? And I'm like, we have a kid getting ready to go to college. He said, what does it matter? If you're not here, none of this matters, but you are literally killing yourself. And this is not who you are. I've known you. This is not who you are. So I left after a while. It still took a few months, but I left and I sought out on this mission to figure out what was missing. How is it? Why is it that even myself, I got caught up on this chasing other people's success, but inwardly was not fulfilled? And I had to hide parts of myself to fit into that environment. So I treated it like another dissertation and I dove in trying to figure out, how can I help people? And I now view that careers are like an iceberg. Above the surface of the water is what everybody focuses on, but it's very tiny. It's like the job title, the salary, the location. But below the surface of the water, if you ever look at a picture of the iceberg, it is like huge down there. And to me, that's what drives fulfillment. It's who are you? What do you do best? What is the chatter in your mind? How do you communicate with people? And most importantly, what do you want your life to look like? And how can your career fuel that life? Because we all have our own mission, vision, values, goals, families, the personal style, the way that we work, the skills that we are, our interests, our abilities, all of these things influence what is a good career decision for that person. But ultimately, we were not made to just work. We were made to live and have our vocation build our life. So that is my focus now, is to help people through this journey. And it's also the journey that I myself travel.
This is so beautiful, Caroline. And thank you so, so very much for sharing your story. I tell you, it was as though you shouldn't stop talking, you see. And I'm definitely going to share a story with others. Permit me, please. Okay, you see, you use one of my favorite words, which is fulfillment. And I feel like folks who are truly, truly helping others become the best version of themselves, they must know about fulfillment, because that is one thing that money can never get you. And the fact that that is one of the things that money can never get you. And the fact that you are going about with your solution, helping people become the best version of themselves, that's so great. And that's you creating this legacy behind and this beautiful impact. And I love what you're doing. So far you've answered most of my questions, but just some few left. So let's talk about Yeah, let's talk about the next success method. Yeah, what is it? And also, can you explain the four pillars of the
Yes,
next success method? Yeah.
absolutely. So to me, the all of the below the surface, the huge part of the iceberg, that's what I focus on through the next success method. So I help next chapter explorers become authentic success creators through the next success method. And it has four pillars. So these are the things that I figured out, okay, this is what's missing. This is what, if these are unlocked, then people can achieve this fulfillment and can achieve the satisfaction, and many people have had that. So the four pillars are natural abilities. So how are you hardwired? What are some of those gifts and talents that you were given? And I chose an assessment that has a very scientific foundation. It's objective, it's performance-based measurement to help people see where are they in 19 different areas. And even then, when it says you have, here's where your natural ability lies, the hardwired way that you are, there is no good or bad. It's just someone's starting point. But when somebody builds their career on top of things that had already been poured into them by God or universe, whatever somebody wants to say, but you and I both know who did that, right? Those things were given to us
Right.
for a reason, for a reason. And in that capacity for us to build from. So let's say there was something like idea productivity. Okay, the amount of ideas going through your head is great for speaking, great for writing, great for perhaps teaching if you have to explain in a different way. But if somebody does not have all those blah 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 all over the place and lower idea productivity, guess what that's great for? Focus. That's great for focus. So perhaps somebody who is
Mm,
an accountant or dealing with numbers or lots of very intense things, their attention can be sustained because of the way that ability had been poured into them. And if you're doing that thing aligned with how you're built, you're going to be less time, effort, and energy and fulfilled. So natural abilities is one. And from there, I can also help. Let's say there was a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old or something, and they say, I'm not sure exactly what I could do. I can help them know from their natural abilities compared to the entire United States database of jobs, matching to over 600 jobs to help somebody see these are your top 50 based on how you're aligned with just natural abilities only. Yet, you want to also consider other things.
mm,
So, natural abilities, communication behavior is another one. So, the way that I communicate is direct, very direct, and it's also going to be open. Some other people may be indirect, maybe not open. My husband is indirect, not open. So, if I'm like, oh my gosh, take out the trash, this trash is full. If I say that to him in that way, he's going to feel some sort of way about it. He's going to think I'm yelling. And meanwhile, I'm
mm,
just
mm,
noticing. But if I'm like, hey, I noticed that the trash is kind of full. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps on your way out, would you be able to take the trash? This gets much better response. So if someone
mm,
learns the way a message needs to be received by the recipient, and there are observable signs to try to notice that, then you can adjust your own message so it's best received. Another one is mental fitness, mental resilience. So the chatter in our mind. There are many ways that we react to something because it's how we were set up for at one point in time in our childhood, we needed to be that way. But my reaction might not be the wise response. So if I can understand what are the things sabotaging my performance, relationships, and well-being, how can I come to notice them? And how can I consciously choose to go differently and practice that mindset, mindfulness, things to help me choose what my response is, not just a reaction. And then another one is an integrated vision. What do you want for your life? What do you want for your career? And for that, I help people go through multiple factors of where are you in your career development stage? What are your natural abilities? What are the skills, the things you invested in? What are you interested in? how do you show up? Are you an introvert, extrovert, generalist, specialist? What about your family of origin and your family now? What are the goals? What are the values you have? And from all of that, we then create a vision for their life, vision for their career. So to me, the Next Success method is a very comprehensive, data-driven way to help pull out insight from people. I don't give them the way. Like, I don't tell them what they can or can't do. I help them come to notice and realize. But it is all already, and even it's through me. It's God's work through me, not my
Yeah.
work. That's
Mm, amazing. This is beautiful. I was about to say, how did you come up with all of these beautiful things? But you've said it all. It is God. Wow.
yeah,
And to him be all the glory. I
that's
tell
it.
you, this sounds so effective and powerful. So to bring this to an end, Caroline, what would you like to leave the audience with, like a final thought? And to those folks who would like to reach out to you, learn more about the beautiful stuff you're doing, or even open your services or programs, how can that be possible?
Yes, awesome. Um, if anyone out there is thinking what they're doing isn't it, that's not it, and you have this yearning for more or a desire for your situation to be different, it can be different. And the fact that you're even questioning and having that doesn't mean something's wrong with you. It means something right with you. And you are now coming to realize that you are made for more. And so then what do? Well, you want to pray, ask for guidance, ask for, what is it I'm supposed to be doing, and look for those tiny little signs of what have you always done that you've enjoyed. And if anybody needs help to pull that out, I would love to have a conversation with them and see if perhaps I might be someone to help on their journey. But you can reach me at nextsuccesscareers.com. So the word next, N-E-X-T, success, S-U-C-C-E-S-S, careers, careers.com. Another way is I have a podcast called Next Success Podcast. The podcast is Your Next Success on nextsuccesspodcast.com is where you can reach all of my episodes. So that would be great ways to get in touch with me and help people ultimately enjoy what they're doing.
Sorry about that, my network
You
went
gotta
off.
love technology and networks. Yeah, no worries.
So that's going to be the end of the show, Caroline. Thank you for coming and thank you for sharing this beautiful stuff with us. It means a whole lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Elisha.